without further ado, I just want to say thank you for your time, and thank you for joining me today. I think this is obviously a big part of our game that we are playing. I think injuries and conditions like yourself, Connor. So thank you for your time. And I just like you guys to start with some insight of what injury you had, and yeah. So basically, just that. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Jambo Lengo. I currently play for the Golden Lions in Joburg. So the injury that I had was a patella tendonitis that I was struggling for almost two seasons, two full years, where I played, but my injury just remained. So it was around 2017 where I got the operation, where I fixed my patella tendonitis. So yeah, it's been almost 3 years now, 3 full years back, but still, it still gave me a bit of problems. But recently, like a season ago, is when I fully healed and I'm back to where I was.
Yes, guys. I'm Con Hendricks, best wing in the world. Currently playing for the Watermelon Bulls.
Amen. Yes.
I don't know actually what is my injury called, but there was something wrong with my heart 4 years ago. So in 2014, 2015, I was still at the Free State Cheetahs, and in 2015, at the end of the year, I signed a deal with the Stormers for 2 years, and in end of 2015. We actually prepared for the Olympics for 2016. I was invited to Stellenbosch to play sevens again. And I remember it like yesterday. We had a training camp, and I remember it was on a Friday. And we all went for our ECGs. And after 10 minutes, when I've done my ECG, they called me back and they said, your ECG didn't work. Because normally it's because you're stressing or something like that. And they told me to go for a heart scan. And I remember after going for the heart scan, the doctor told me, listen, you can't play rugby anymore. And I was like, come on, doc, I just finished with my training now. What do you mean? And he said, no, I'm going to call your doctor now at the sevens, and I'm going to tell her, listen, your rugby days are over. And I asked the doctor, listen, is that a joke or something? Is Leon Schuster there behind the curtains or something? And he said, no. And he said, no, I'm serious. Your playing days is over. And I remember just sitting there. Everything was just numb. And I called one of the doctors I know, and she just told me, listen, just stay calm. We're going to figure this thing out together. And I remember I went through a lot of things in that 4 years. Nobody wanted actually to touch me and actually allow me to go on the field. I was moving in between unions. I remember I was at the Kings. I was first at the Blue Bulls as well. They told me, listen, we're not going to take a chance on you. So I've been struggling emotionally. And obviously the game that I loved the most, that I feel at the time, was taken away from me. And at the time, I remember I was praying a lot, and I just told the Lord, Lord, I believe in you. If you still want me to play, I will play. But if you don't want me to play, just please help me to get over this emotional pain. And I remember just crying every night when I go to sleep, when I'm driving, just the tears rolling down my cheeks. And at the time, I just felt I couldn't face the world because I couldn't play rugby anymore. And then I remember after praying, and I just felt at peace with myself. And then I quickly realized that rugby is just part of us, and it's the game we love. And then I just surrender myself, and I remember the Lord take me through a whole trial and just made me a better person at the end of the day. And just reflecting on what happened to me, and just to humble myself again before the Lord. And after 4 years, been through worse times. I remember going to Cayman Islands, play rugby there. Went to the to America, play rugby there. And I remember Tiger Rugby helped me a lot and gave me a lot of exposure with Heineken Meyer praying for the APDs. And yeah, after 4 years, I actually received good news that the Bulls are interested of signing me again. So just all the glory to God for being back on the field again and play rugby on the highest level. So I'm truly thankful for this opportunity to share my story. And obviously, just to tell somebody out there who goes through a lot of emotional or personal issues, you must just believe that you, every trial is just for now, but you getting better as a person and what you want to achieve one day. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gelant, for the invite. I really appreciate this time and opportunity to share my story as well. So what happened to me, the injury I had was a toe injury. I actually did not know that a toe has so much, in the body, so much, influence and so much work, and it's a toe. I mean, didn't know a toe can take me out of the game for more than 8 months. And what happened is that I tore all the ligaments on my left toe on the field I was playing. I remember it was in the scrum how it happened, and I had a big sound, and I thought maybe it's my boot that tore, I had a big sound like that, and I thought now it's my boot, Then the ball got out of the scrum. I kept on running, but I could feel, no, there's something that is not right, and I checked my boots and my boots were fine. I continued to play, for another 2-3 minutes, but I could feel now something is really wrong in my foot. And so I basically stopped, and the doctors came, took off my boots, and we checked it, and we thought, we can carry on. So I actually played for 7 more minutes till I couldn't run anymore. Then eventually got out the field. And, I was also told that I will not play rugby again. Even made an example about someone, Kali Visachi, who had the same injury, that could not play again. Actually, my injury was worse than his, and it was just a battle in the mind, and a stressful moment. But I'm grateful to God because I remember clearly the Holy Spirit saying to me, whose report do you believe? And today I know that God is the greatest physician, and I chose to affirm myself, say it loud that I'm healed. I am going to play rugby again. It is not over. There's still a lot of seasons ahead of me, on the rugby field. So I said that every day. I was laying in bed for 2 months after my operation. I could not move. I couldn't do anything for myself for 2 months. I couldn't go to the kitchen, to the land. I was laying on my bed. Yeah, it was really tough, but it's amazing how at that time, God gave me peace that surpasses all understanding. I could not understand how, after I heard from Him, after hearing the Holy Spirit saying, whose report do you believe?
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I had so much peace. I was not stressed out. My wife even asked me and said, hey, he thought maybe I was hiding it, because like you are normal, you are happy, you are fine, you are reading, you are playing. Our baby was 2 months at the time, which I believe was one of the reasons for the injury, just to spend time with my son, get that bond strong, because if that had not happened, I would have been away for months and only see him maybe after 2 months or 3 months, see him for a week and go away for a championship, see him for 2 weeks again, go end of the year tour, because I was already in the Springbok squad when I got injured, which was also tough, because I was already in the squad. I got injured 2 weeks before the England series.
I remember Bishop sending you that message after that game, because like I played that game with you and I was like, yes, I know it's bad and it's sad, because I mean I know the form you were in at the time. I know you were on your way to making a Springbok debut and all of that stuff. So for me it was just that next morning when I woke up I was like, yes, Bishop, you so actually lucky in that regard, man, because you're gonna see your son walking for the first time. You're gonna hear him speak his first words, and I think in that time it's such a special thing, because like you say, we on the road all the time, and often rugby players and athlete dads must that opportunity to be part of that early part of their son or daughter's career. So it was good to see him. So Connie, Jamba. So I mean, what went through your mind that time when, like, you obviously a breadwinner, you provide for a broader family, man. So what went through your mind that time when you got injured, Connie? When you said you just came from training and suddenly they say you can't play rugby. I'm like, yeah, I just finished training. How can you tell me I can't play anymore? Like, what went through your mind in that regard?
But actually, Warrick, in that regard, when they told me the news, obviously I didn't think about money or anything like that. It's just I couldn't play rugby anymore. This thing, the rugby that I love so much, that I grew up with, play this game now for when I was still a young boy, 9 years old. And it's more like, what will the public say? What will my mom and everybody say about me not playing rugby anymore? And as you said now as well, I'm the breadwinner, and I'm the one who's looking after the family right now. And if I'm not going to play rugby, we're all going to be affected about in life. And I remember staying in Stellenbosch. I just bought my first house, and I remember signing a deal with the Springboks in the Stormers. It was quite a big contract, and I was buying my first house in Stellenbosch, and I was so happy to move in to start at the Stormers. And hearing about the news, I didn't take it very good at the time. So yeah, losing my house, losing the sponsored car that I got from BMW, and obviously lost a lot of things. And then I had to rebuild. Actually, I went to go live at my mom's house for a year or two, just to recover financially. And I just told my mom, listen, don't worry, everything's gonna be alright. I just need to make readjustments, financial wise, just to be okay. And sometimes I think when we go through a lot of things, we're too ashamed to downsize or to make a change in our lives, that we think more about what people can think about us. But I realized that at the moment I'm going to be in financial trouble if I'm not gonna make any sacrifices and downsize my house. And obviously I had it good that time. Cornel Hendricks at the time always wanted to have a nice car, always wanted to live in a big house, and that was my childhood dream. And actually, everything came through at the time for me, and I was only 26 years old, and it was a difficult time for the family, and I was so glad that at the Springboks you get a lot of money, and obviously you just newly signed at the new union, and coming from a background where we're not used to a lot of money, and I had someone to look after me quite well, and he told me, listen, you must spend your money wisely, because money is like water under a bridge. When it's gone, it's gone. You will never get it back.
Yeah.
So at the time when I signed my new deal, I always saved up money. So if something happened to me, I can look after the family. So when that happened to me, I knew I was gonna be okay for 2 years to look after my mom, my brothers and my sisters, and after me as well. But I had to give up my my nice house and the BMW I drove at the time. But yeah, it only made me strong at the time, but it killed me at that moment and said, listen, how can I how will I survive through these tough times? But there's only one God and only one name that I can thank today, that I came through the tough times, and I'm a better person now. And I've also learned a lot about who to be loyal to.
Yes.
Because at the time I've realized you can't be loyal to your work, to people you depend on at the time. And I just realized, listen, if you're not gonna think on your feet, you're gonna be left behind. So yeah, that was a good lesson for me, and I'm truly thankful. I wouldn't change anything about that 4 years, losing everything. Because losing everything through that time made me a better person. I'm truly thankful now. Whatever I have, even this cap that I have on now of Puma, I'm truly blessed and thankful for this.
Hallelujah.
900 rand. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so what kept you going? I remember you were the Bulls at the time, and I mean, whenever in rehab 3 weeks, horse, then they said you ready to go. Then you get there, one training session, out again, you know, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I remember every time I'm like, horse, are you back this weekend? And he's like, yes. Then one session, out again. So what kept what kept you going at the time, and what made you want to return? I mean, after 2 years, like you said, you initially went for the surgery. What kept you going at the time?
I guess the will to be recognized as a man and as a husband as well.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, rugby is just a blessing and a opportunity that we have, and just the hunger to be able to provide for my son and my wife was also one of the bigger driving forces for me to push and to come back. And another thing as well, like Cornwall said, when one gets injured and you go into that dark place where you have to really search for who you really are and search for what characteristics and what really drives you as a person. That is when, like Bishop said, that's when you really need to find God and find your source of strength and your source of joy. Because at the end of the day, as we know, rugby is just for 10 years.
Yes.
After that 10 years, what do you do then? So, because some people they were so used to the hype and the aura that comes with playing rugby that you forget who you really are. You walk into the malls, everyone is greeting you. After a few years, when that is gone, some people go into depression because of that.
Yeah.
Because they don't really know who they really are. So that period where I was injured, because I remember as well, it was that year after I made my first Springbok cap.
Yeah.
And I was so excited. I thought, this is my chance. Now I've been waiting for this opportunity for a while. So that was like the following season. I thought, I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna do well. And then this injuries came. It was tough because most of the time you try to keep motivated. You try to keep a positive outlook on everything. But we're all human. You get to a point whereby you don't know what to do. Every door that you want to open is shut. Every call that you want to make for help is closed. Then you really have to sit down and look at your situation. Like Cornwall said, you have to, sometimes situation happens where you have to adjust, readjust, and reposition yourself as well, so that you can be able to ride that wave of not failure, but of trials and tribulation. Because when you get through that dip, you know that your path is up and you're gonna get there. But the question that you asked, it's basically the surrounding that I keep, and the people that I spend most of my time with. They also played a huge part in me wanting to come back.
How important is it to have something on the side, be it's a business or studying while you are playing rugby, getting some sort of experience, even if you are shadowing someone, a manager somewhere or a CEO somewhere, just gaining that experience, because I feel that, we are in a bubble, which everything comes, I'm not going to say easy, but early,
Yeah.
you are 20, you're 21 years, you're 22 years, you're playing for your country, you're representing for your country, you're getting millions in your bank account, the money is up there, but the character is not there, so how important is it as well to make sure that you familiarize yourself in learning outside of rugby and doing other things while rugby is buying you time and paying you, for that knowledge that you're getting somewhere else, because I feel you might not be making money in the business that you're doing or anything else outside, but you are getting knowledge so that if things like this, a career-ending injury, or you have to retire early, you are not feeling like you're just out there and you know nothing else but rugby.
With regards to your question, as we can see right now, we are faced with this pandemic where we are staying at home, and us rugby players, we are not earning an income per se, because some of our contracts are going to be cut now. All of our contracts, basically.
Yeah.
So if we don't put ourselves in a situation or in an atmosphere of developing and empowering ourselves with regards to gaining that skill, the net, or your networking with business people, because we are fortunate to have that opportunity where we meet big business people, but I think the biggest problem is that we don't know how to utilize that to the fullest.
100%.
We do not know how to. I personally as well, we do not know how to fully utilize those opportunities whereby we can network and find opportunities and make opportunities for us to put our best foot forward for life after rugby.
Yeah.
100%. Just to add on that, sorry, Kora, I've seen when we go on golf days or meeting the sponsors and stuff like that, we are I look at rugby players and I'm intentional, and I see guys that they just want to go home. They're irritated to be. Sometimes understandably, because they've had a tough session and there's a lot going on. Maybe you're losing, but not completely being oblivious to your surrounding and not knowing,
Yes, bro.
and being aware of the people and the influence around you as well, and tapping into that network. And I agree with you. We hang around most of the time with such powerful people that we can learn from, but maybe it's a matter of not knowing how to tap into that and how to network with those people, because personally I thought maybe we don't want to. We just want our comfort zone. I want to speak to Jamba because I know him. But I play with Jamba I train with Jamba every day. There's an opportunity to go ask a question from someone else who is in a corporate world, someone else who is in the mining industry, agricultural industry, anything else. So I fully agree with you on that point.
Obviously, Connie, you have that foundation. Obviously, you don't ask, and you don't actually, when you get into your career, prepare for when I get a big injury like this, or like I said, come and let me think life after rugby. When I just started my career, it's unheard of. It's like you say, it's unlike us. We want comfort zone. We want to get this perfect way. So obviously, you guys say now, Bishop, you mentioned it, having something on the side of the field. Even in that injury time, when you guys were in that situation, what went through your mind? Because I remember I was in Stellenbosch, and I walked there past the fields, and I saw Cornel there coaching a primary school team, And I was like, yo, the man look like
Yes, wait, man.
you look like your typical school coach, you know, chino, formal shirt, everything nice. And I'm like, so what did you guys actually do in that time when you were injured? I mean, in terms of how did you maybe go study, corner, your coaching, your foundation? What did you guys do extra in that time?
I'm a multi-millionaire, so I don't need anything after rugby. So
Give me 5%, Neil, man. Give me 5%.
amen.
Amen.
Okay, guys. Actually, I didn't went to go study professional player when I was 20 years old. I signed my first contract at Gelant Cavaliers. So the money wasn't good at the time, so I was still earning like peanuts at the time. So I actually got okay money when I started playing sevens rugby, and by meeting this awesome guy in Wellington, my financial advisor always advised me to look after myself and to save money up to actually be okay in the future. So I actually 2014 I was not like Warrick and Jamba who played for the Springboks on the early on the early age, like 23 or 21. Like Warrick is a World Cup winner, 23 years old, 24 years old. So I didn't have that opportunity to play for the Boks at a young age. Then I actually I like development, so I went actually in development, property and stuff like that. And I started to build myself a nice little profile in that. And I actually started a foundation not to enrich myself, just to give back to my community. So my goal and my dream one day is to, where I come from in my communities, I want to make my communities better through my foundation. So I actually donate every year funds to my own foundation. I actually met a lot of high-profile business people at a time when I was not playing. I was actually surprised that this was the first time I met CFOs, CEOs, all the fancy names. I didn't know there was a CFO actually existing at that time.
Yeah.
So I've met a lot of people through my foundation. So for me, life after rugby, I probably gonna go into coaching, because that's my passion. I love to work with kids. I love to share my knowledge that I've been building up in this the 10 or 15 years that I've played rugby. So I just want to share my knowledge with the youngsters, and I want to work full time at my foundation to improve our communities and to develop our children to become better persons and to be successful in life as well. And I will continue to keep on learning more about development and stuff. And that's also my love and passion to build and actually to resell property and stuff like that. But I will probably go into coaching and to work at my foundation full time when I'm done with rugby.
Connie, before Lizo Jamba answers, can you just tell them what the difference is between knowledge and wisdom?
Hallelujah.
So guys, I had a lot of knowledge when I was young, but now I have wisdom. So there's a big difference between knowledge and wisdom.
Yes.
So guys, the difference between knowledge and wisdom is knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, right?
Yes.
Wisdom is knowing not to put the tomato in a fruit salad. Okay?
Amen.
That's knowledge.
Amen.
Guys, come on. I mean,
Higher.
In that specific time, I mean, obviously we wouldn't have thought this way if that part of our life didn't happen. So what did you learn about yourself in that time, and what did you have to unlearn in that time? I mean, maybe say for instance, you went to bed 8 at night and your wife is understanding, because I understand for you to have maximum performance, you need your time of sleep and all of those type of stuff. and she maybe, Q maybe go and put Semi in the bed, or whenever he cries or wake up at night, she look after him. Like, did you have to adjust in that time, Jumbo? Maybe say, listen, let me rather be a better father in this time because this is how I'm growing in that regard, or what did you learn about? So what did you have to unlearn about?
Fortunately, I was able to finish my diploma through Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
I did a marketing diploma, so I was able to finish that.
So it's easy to sell
and another thing
corner
as well.
for you.
Beautiful.
Come work for me. Come work for me.
Nah, I'm my own man, bro. Self-made millionaire as well.
Come
bro.
on.
Hey,
yes.
Amen.
So basically, what I had to learn is to take responsibility for myself. Yeah, in a sense that finding out what I wanted to do and how to do it. And like most of us, we didn't. I personally didn't know how the financial system of the world works. So in that time, I was able to sit down and actually dig deeper into what money really is and what value really is. So, in that time, I also got to spend more time with my son and my wife, to be a father like Lizo as well, and Kono, and soon to be Warrick Gelant. I don't know, 2 or 3 years.
Not 10 years.
Yes.
So yeah, it like you said, everything happens for a reason, and me getting injured at that time also helped me to learn from the experience and to be able to share it with someone else in the future. Like Kono said, where he wants to impart his knowledge not only of rugby but of life to the younger kids as well. So because of the injury that all of us had, we have the knowledge and the understanding as well of what life really is and how to bounce back from setbacks that we will face in life.
Firstly, I was, we just got married, had a baby, and I started looking at it really as time to get to know each other. There's this new, precious gift from the Lord. Spend time with Him. And I looked at it like that. In terms of growing, certain areas of my life, I've always been intentional about that. Even before the injury, I've always been a person that reads a lot. Always been a person that's involved in business outside of rugby, like Connie. We've spoken about it a lot. Jumbo as well. We all love property. I know the three of us, we've been talking about it for years. I was involved in that as well. So it was so beautiful to see myself not stressing out and going into depression during that time, which I thank God for. Because all these things that we say on a daily basis, they get tested, when you are laying in bed for 2 months, and is the faith that, you preach about, can you apply it now? Can you put it into action and pull yourself out of that pit, out of that negativity on a daily basis, and be able to counter those negative thoughts, that come rushing into your head. Counter that with the word of God. Counter that with positive thinking, and feeding your mind of the positive things, and actually dreaming, and seeing a greater light out of this thing, and knowing that each and every step and every a struggle is necessary for the building of your character, because your character needs to be built for where God is taking you, because it's taking you to greater places, to higher places, which you need your character to have been, shaped during that time. I was speaking at a school, in Soweto, a few months before we went on tour this year. I had a project of giving to the school that had no sport. And I said to them, at school I was selling chips, sweets, biscuits, because of the situation at home. We would ask for food every day, from neighbors, and I was selling chips and sweets. I wasn't really making a lot of money, but things I've learned there will help me one day in the boardroom.
Yes.
So sometimes it's not about making money now, but it's about the things that you're learning that are going to help you in the future. So I took and I saw the injury as one thing, that is necessary, for the building of my character, even though it was not ideal, but God allowed it for a purpose, and actually my family bond got stronger. So there were a lot of positives as well that came out of it.
Yeah. I think what one can realize now actually is that, basically you won't grow in your comfort zone. I think that is basically the message of all of this.
100%.
So
100%.
it's just nice. I mean, myself and Jamba spoke about it the other day. It's like when we in this rugby circus and it's happy and it's going well, we all, every time we see each other, we speak about rugby, and when this injury happened and you get some alone time and you go into perspective, you realize that it's so. But I actually know nothing about Jamba. I know nothing about Lisa. I know nothing about Cornel. So whenever we decided on it and we said, listen, when we're gonna go get together again, I want to ask Cornel, listen, how's your mom doing? When is she come visiting again? Know more about each other on a deeper level, because like I say, rugby can be taken away like this, but then we still don't know nothing. We don't have relationships, we have nothing. So I think this basically is just a message again for us to to get into deeper relationships, because even then when the injury happened, all this stuff is in place, because it's a part of your life that stops. It's not your life that stops. And I think that is the special part. And I mean, for us, obviously, we want to be the change. And I mean, I can see now that all of this stuff that's happening, it's a positive change. It's not something negative.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of a case like this where Cornel got a heart condition and suddenly he said, I'm not going to pay for anything, and it went bad. It's just upwards. It's an upward curve. I mean, and that's why I'm calling this breaking the change, man, because we the guys now that are going to be the change for the next generation. So,
beautiful.
I mean, Bishop, you also have a foundation now, but I mean, I can't say it wouldn't have happened if you didn't got injured, but the injury gave you such a better perspective, and you're like, now I can be the change. I mean, I went to a similar change in my career 2016 when I broke my jaw, and then just straight afterwards I tore my ACL. So I was also out for a year. So I know what it takes to go through that. I mean, also on the verge, going to Olympics, easy competition corner, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like saying, like I was
also worried. How important is the support that we have, our family? I know your mom very well. Such a beautiful lady. I've met her a couple of times, and I've never seen anything like that. You see kindness in her before she even opened, and love before she even opens her mouth. So how important it is to acknowledge and appreciate the support that we have. Not only in great times, going to the stadiums when everything is going well, they're there supporting and cheering. But in times like that where I could not walk, I could not do anything, my wife was doing everything for me. So how important is it to acknowledge and actually tell those people how much you appreciate them, supporting you and having that structure of support around you?
I see sometimes we so focused, especially when you play rugby on a high level at an early age. You're so focused you want to grow, you want to be a man, you want to own that stuff until you get an injury like this, and then like, yes, but I haven't received any support like this. The support that my mother gives me, all that small stuff that you want to outgrow. You want to say, listen, I don't need this anymore, man. I don't need this. But then, when you go into perspective, you realize that this is what actually kept me going. This is what made me play on that high level at such an early age. And it's like you said, the 2016 year was a difficult year because, I just came on the scene the previous year with Jamba and them, and we played well. 2016 played good again.
Now, just want to add on there what you guys are saying about this supportive system that's so important. I think we mentioned it before. All our professional athletes are actually in a bubble at the moment. We think we arrived and everything is good. I mean, I had to learn when I didn't play rugby. I mean, there's no way in the world. There's no way in the world that people's gonna pay you in the real world over 20K. You understand? You think the money you earn now is like you're gonna earn this forever. But just to mention that supportive structure is so important, especially when you move up the ladders. We constantly forget sometimes. Listen, it's because of our brother, our mother, and all our sister support. We actually grow stronger. Actually moving forward, but along the way we change in a way that we don't realize at the moment. Like, actually changing. I have all the answers now. Yeah. If my mom tells me this, I have better answers. So, but you realize the moment when you get injured and there's no one to support you, it's actually the same people who are there in the first place who's actually going to lift you up to be there again. You understand? And as we all mentioned, sometimes if you come together, it's nice to crack a joke now and then. I also, Jumbo was laughing at me when we played together at sevens. Him and Shabil, Jumbo and Shabello, they, I think we were on the same contract at the time. But every end of the month or every Friday after training, Jumbo and Shabello got themselves new jeans, new techies, and when they look at my jeans, they always say, "Yes, see, can I give you on a jean, yo?" Yeah. I always tell the guys, listen, guys, it's not about what you're wearing. And I remember Jamba had a check. I think we got a check of 10,000 rand. No, Jamba, we did the tournament or something that, and you made an extra zero. And he said, you're going to pay that one day. A month, 100,000 a month or something like that. Yeah, 100,000, that was your goal. And actually, I think when we as rugby players come together, we must stop talking about how many pair of Jordans we have and our gold medal.
Please, Warrick, man. I said, please.
I still want the pair, Warrick. Please, man.
Please, and I'll give you some of the old new ones.
But Warrick got all the colors. Warrick also told me, Cornel, I'm a millionaire now. I'm not going to use a cent of I just want to stay a millionaire. And that's the kind of, we're not going to talk about money, but we want to talk about success in growing. As not as rugby players, but individuals and to better each other every single day. Yes. And if we're not going to talk about 100K, a 10K, so then I think sometimes we're missing the whole point about coming together for a cup of coffee. Because we're having 10 meetings, but we're not in that 10 meetings, not even talking about a 10 rand or 100K. Yeah. So I think must talk more and open up more about what are you doing to be successful, so we can combine our ideas and to grow in a business sense of way as well. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, but it's nice to connect in all parts, like talking about families, talking about the one pair of shoes that I still have of 1988. Sorry, Warrick, I don't have all the Jordans. But talk about what makes you a successful human being at the end of the day. So,
Warrick, I've got a question for you.
Yeah, Bishop.
I've had one operation in my life that's on my toe, which was a big operation. And I've had niggles where I would be out for 2 months, 4 months. I've truly been blessed, after, only getting an injury 28 years, the first operation. I remember I was in SAA before we played England Saxons 2016 or 2017, and one of the guys said he's had 7 operations at the age of 24. I think now after that he's had about 3 more, and he's not even 30 yet. So I just want to ask from you, because you've had more operations than me, or
I
most of
think
us
combined, yeah.
here. And how difficult is it, and how do you get out of that in your mind that, hey, here we go again,
Yeah.
and to come back and perform the way you do at the highest level, going to the World Cup after having so many operations, and you are not even 25 yet.
Yeah, so Bishop, it was for me. It was a thing about how can I be better and how can I use this opportunity to be a better athlete? Because for me, I know this is stuff that I didn't know a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So whenever I went into surgery, I realized that I want to understand the bigger purpose of this. I want to understand why my
Yeah.
shoulder went when I had surgery. So now I understand, okay, there's no back support, my bicep went after my shoulder, all of that stuff happened. And I'm like, how can I be
Yeah.
better and how can I prevent this happening to the next guy or to the next athlete? That's why if I see someone doing something wrong or need assistance, I'll help instantly. Not because I studied, because I
Yeah, you've
understand
helped
now.
me. You've helped me a couple of times. I
Yeah.
would like,
Me too. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's why for me it's like, how can we all be maximum athletes at the same time without us, feeling like I'm better than you, I know more than you, so I'm not gonna help you. It's about how can we all be better at the same time, and that's why I educated myself in that department. So the surgeries helped me to get the knowledge to help the next guy, and that was my main goal. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Connie,
Yes.
there's something else that you have lost. I don't know if I should call it an injury. Your front teeth. So can you tell us about.
Yeah, how does that stuff happen? Yeah, Lisa, it's a great question. Great question.
No, I lost my teeth when I was still young, man. Yeah.
And you know the
Yeah, but
guy
I
that actually
teeth now.
lose, Cornel. So what happened?
No, there's nothing happened, bro. There's my own teeth. Yeah, Warrick, I just think just at that point, I think despite of all the injuries and stuff like that, you obviously empowered yourself. Obviously with one of the best conditioning coaches out there, Yakas, built up a lot of knowledge after all the injuries, and now you can actually help the next person. Obviously, all the guys said you helped them a lot. You actually helped me as well when I injured my ankle the other day. I remember, you told me to do this and this and this. Don't ice the thing. Put heat on it and do this and this. And I remember that helped me a lot. And you've actually done well being out of the game, and obviously learned from Yakas. And I think you've grown a lot in that department as well. So yeah, I think you must go into that when you done with rugby, brother. You will be a great conditioning coach.
The study
Looking
part,
like that.
I don't want to do the study part. I just want to do
like that.
practical.
I hope you will look like that when you're a conditioning coach. I don't know.
Not like a prop.
Like a prop.
I mean, they say obviously Jamba got a son now, which is obviously a big unit. Bishop got a son. I mean, they say the fullbacks, Bishop, will look like this in, I think, 30 years. So,
oh yes,
New breed.
So your son is on the verge, of being that fullbacks,
fullbacks will look like Warrick Gelant 15 years, 1-5 from now.
From now.
But they will think like that and have a skill like that 30 years from now.
Oh wow! Listen, guys, I'm out of shape now. But my body fat is 6.5. I'm out of shape, so I don't know.
16.5.
I don't know what my body percentage is gonna be. Body fat when I return to play. I'm now 6.5 body fat, so I'm out of shape. So I don't know.
Was obviously. I mean, thank you guys always for your time. And so, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't want to ask you guys what's the advice for the next generation or for the guys. So I want to basically say, and I mean, I think we cover it all, but just the last type of message of. Okay, so my two questions is basically, how can we say to the next generation, the guy who's going through the injury, and tell him, listen, this is the lessons, this is what we can learn. And the guy who's maybe not gonna get injured, but will miss out on the relationship part or building the future part or all those stuff. Like, what is the message we can give them as a last word to them? Yeah.
guys, whether you're injured or not, just from my side, just to stay true to yourself, and obviously, we all want to be successful in life. Don't forget to stay true to yourself, and always remember to look after the people who was there at the beginning of your career, and that's the people who's going to be there the whole through of your journey, and always make God part of all your plans. And no matter what you go through, you must just always believe in yourself, believe in what you believe in. Everybody of all the people out there gonna have their own opinions. Respect that, but you must respect what you believe and what you believe in. And yeah, life is a journey. Enjoy the ride, and there's gonna be ups and downs. Just embrace it. Yeah, just and always be thankful for all the storms in your life, because all the ups and downs and all the storms in your life is making you a better person, is building character. And remember, there's always light in the end of the tunnel. And you must just have the resilience, and obviously to work hard, to be disciplined, and always respect yourself and respect others. You will, because sometimes you think you above everyone if you're successful in life. Just be humble. Pray to have always a humble heart. And enjoy life. It's a journey. Smile, and don't wish to get the mountain out of the way. Be thankful for the mountain in our lives, because the mountain in our lives is keeping us humble and it reminds us where we come from. And just make the next person better in the same process that you're making yourself better. This is my message.
Wisdom.
So what I would say, Cornell is spot on. Firstly, relationship with God takes first place, because He carries you through that. He gives you peace. He keeps you sane during times like that. Appreciate the people around you that support you. But most importantly, you must know from the get-go, before the injury or anything, that rugby is not your life. Rugby is part of your life, and it is gonna pass. It's just a matter of time. It's not if, it's just a matter of when, It is definitely so. You must prepare for that, and that gives you a bit of relief, or it releases pressure, knowing that you've got other things outside of rugby. When you're laying there in bed, can't do anything else, or if really your career is over, or because of that injury, then you don't go into depression, because you've set yourself, outside of rugby. There's a verse that I like as well, that says, that is found in Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 4 verse 8, says, "We are hard pressed on every side, but we are not crushed. We are perplexed, but we are not in despair." We are not destroyed. It continues. You can read it. So
Amen.
As long as you still have breath, then you still have purpose. You still have a future. It doesn't matter how the situation looks like at the moment. You have a future, because you are still alive. You can still, get up, because life is gonna, knock you down. But it's up to you not to be knocked out. It's up to you to get up again and fight. You owe yourself that much. Yeah.
Powerful.
The bit of wisdom and that I want to share is that we, like all of you guys have said, we have to ground ourselves in the Lord for our identity, because we try to find our identity in rugby, and that is not the case. We try to find our identity in sex, money, and all other things, but the true identity that we want and search for will only be found through Christ.
Amen.
And the other thing as well is that we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves,
Yes.
in the sense that, like, all of us have gone through this challenge of getting back from injuries. So you shouldn't get too perplexed or hard-hearted about the situation that you're currently in. Just know and accept that this is part of your journey, and this is going to mold you into the person that you are going to end up being one day. So just enjoy yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, and the surrounding that you keep. Like we said earlier, we want to keep a friendship of people who are motivating, encouraging, and people who also have purpose and have drive, so that they can also fuel you towards whatever goal or ambition that you have for yourself. So yeah, in a nutshell, is live and love life.
Just after that, Warrick, just want to thank you as well, Warrick, for this. I don't know, there's a lot of fancy stuff you use now. You had a nice camera thing on tour when we went. You've got all the fancy stuff, but I just want to thank you to actually let us say our story on your platform. That's actually a nice thing to do, and we must speak more to other people to encourage them through our stories. But Warrick, thank you so much for your time, brother. Thank you for including us. That's probably the three most wisdom guys.
This is the three wise men coming from the time.
Hey, preach.
It's the
Amen.
three wise men.
So much, brother. Really appreciate it, brother, and thanks for the exposure that you're gonna give us on your platform. I know you got a lot of followers, but yeah, just to share our story, I'm very thankful today. Thank you, Jamba. Thank you, Lizo. Was good seeing you guys again, boys. It was nice time. Thank you, Warrick, for the setup, brother.
So I just want to say thank you to you guys. When I feel like the situation happened to us for a reason, and like you said, Jamba, it's gonna mold us into the people we're gonna be one day. But I mean, this gave us an opportunity to mold the next generation as well. I mean, they don't have to go through that anxiety that in some cases we all went through. I mean, I feel like there's someone in this current situation that has that anxiety right now, and when they're gonna see this, they can at least ease up and say, "Wow, this is basically a situation that's gonna help me to be the person I'm going to be." There's someone that maybe just have some doubts of whether they have to go, the route with Christ or not. This is gonna show them, listen, it's gonna clear that doubt. It's gonna clear that anxiety. So thank you for that, guys. And I just want to end by saying, knowledge is knowing that Cornel has a full mouth of teeth, but wisdom is knowing that it's false teeth.